So we've all seen those stories, right? Someone going from ramen noodles to riches, and it's supposed to be inspiring, but it all feels a little too easy. Like just manifest it and it happens.
Mhm.
So today we're doing a deep dive into one of these stories.
Right, because they leave out all the important details. We're going to unpack one of these rags to riches stories, see if we can find the things that actually matter.
Yeah. The kind of stuff that doesn't make it onto those motivational posters. The story we're looking at today features Jake.
Our hero of humble beginnings.
Exactly. And it tells us how he managed to escape the daily grind and achieve, well, let's be honest, a life of luxury. But the question is, how realistic is that for the rest of us?
Right, because we all start somewhere. And for most of us, it's not exactly a trust fund.
Definitely not. So let's jump into Jake's story. Where does he even begin? Because it can't all be about visualizing that yacht, right?
Well, the story makes a big deal about how Jake starts small, like really small. We're talking saving $5 here, $10 there. Almost seems insignificant, doesn't it?
$5. That's like, skipping your daily coffee. Not exactly yacht money. So how does that even factor into the grand scheme of, massive financial success?
That's a thing. It's not about the amount. It's about forming the habit, building that consistency. Think of it as a financial muscle you're training. The more you use it, the stronger it gets, and the bigger the financial weights you can lift later on.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. So instead of trying to overhaul my entire life overnight, I should focus on those small, sustainable changes.
Exactly. Instead of depriving yourself and setting unrealistic goals, find those little wins that add up over time. Like maybe you do swap that daily latte for a homemade brew a couple of times a week.
Right. And suddenly, I'm a financial whiz because I'm saving a few bucks on coffee. But the story doesn't just stop at saving, does it? Jake doesn't buy his yacht with spare change.
Definitely not. And this is where the story starts to touch on some pretty key financial principles, even if it's a bit surface level. Remember all those side hustles Jake's doing?
You mean like selling his old video games? Everyone's done that.
Exactly. And while it might not make you a millionaire overnight, what it does is create another stream of income. And that's a crucial step. It's about diversifying your income streams, not relying on just one source.
That makes sense, having multiple income streams. Less vulnerable, right? Like if one dries up, you've still got others to fall back on.
Exactly. And that can give you a safety net, the freedom to take more risks, or even just peace of mind. And the story, to its credit, does emphasize this entrepreneurial spirit.
Okay, so we've got the saving part down, we're hustling on the side, but there's still this big gaping hole in the story. Because even with all that, it's still a long way to go from, say, a couple $100 extra to, being able to afford a yacht. What's the missing piece of this puzzle?
The magic word, investing.
Investing. Isn't that just like gambling with your money on Wall Street?
That's a common misconception. Investing, when done right, is about putting your money to work for you. The story mentions that Jake starts investing early on, which, and I can't emphasize this enough, is key. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow. It's the whole snowball effect.
So even if I'm just putting in a little bit every month, over time, that can actually amount to something substantial.
Precisely. Now, the story doesn't get into the nitty-gritty of how Jake invests. It does mention diversification, which suggests he's not putting all his eggs in one basket. This could be anything from index funds to real estate, maybe even starting his own business.
So the takeaway here is that it's not just about saving every penny or even having a bunch of side hustles. It's about making your money work as hard as you are.
Now you're getting it. It's about having a plan, a strategy for your money. Think of it like building a house. Saving is laying the foundation, side gigs are adding extra rooms, and investing is choosing how to decorate and increase its value over time.
Okay, now that is an analogy even I can understand.
It's all about taking those small steps consistently, building good habits, and having a long-term vision. It's not about getting rich quick. It's about creating a life you're excited about.
And that's the important message. It's about finding your own version of success, right? What makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning? Maybe it's a yacht, maybe it's something else entirely. But the point is, by focusing on those small steps and making your money work for you, you're creating the possibility of achieving those dreams.
Exactly. It's about taking control of your financial future, one small step at a time.
And on that note, that's a wrap on another deep dive.